Here we are. We're live. I gotta set up my other camera, but here we go. Or rather, my other phone here. For those people that are just tuning in, this is going to be, per usual, boring because it's a live video, but that just is to encourage you to come on live and interact with us live as opposed to waiting for the video to come out later. So let's see. Jeepers, everybody's on tonight. Uh-oh. Let me fix that. How's the audio? Okay? You guys can hear me? Okay. Everybody's here. Dan, Craig, Ken, Larry, Dude West, Octillon, Ronnie Buck, Adirondacks. Got a 660 done. That's awesome. So I just got some goodies from Nate, Performance Outdoor Equipment. Casey Dunn, Brandon Viles, William Profit, Cheapers. Everybody's coming on. How's everybody Thanksgiving? Did you have a good Thanksgiving? I had Thanksgiving today. And we did have 2 pies. Really no need for anything else, right? Where did the 262? Here's the 262. I just wanted to do a little bit on this 262. Might as well. Nice. Nice. Okay. So I think the 262 is going to be a pretty straightforward build. Might as well organize some things here while we're waiting. You're still full. Yeah, we had pie. We had the turkey was taking an extra amount of time, so we had chicken and roast beef instead. My folks cooked the turkey on the wood stove, you know. So, had a good time. And, yeah. I just got this package from Nate, so I figured we'd come on and do this one thing real quick and get this to where we can get it. And then what? Can't put the head on because I still don't have that stupid needle bearing. Yeah, well, the fire was slow, that's all. Oh, I wonder. Is it that one? Or is it this one? It's a seal seater. So instead of using the Coke can trick, we got these seal seaters, or I guess it's a guide of some kind. I don't know why it's quite that tight. Just a little bit of grease on there. Okay, we're going to use that. The bearings are in. So brand new bearings. We did the case assembly the other night, but now I got to do the seals because the seals finally came in. If I remember right, I made a seal seater. Where did I put it? It's in here. Nice. Will this go inside of it? Yes. But it hits. So no. So this seal seater that I made will not work, at least not with that. It probably will work with the Coke can trick, but it will not work with this sleeve. Not yet. How are we supposed to get the darn thing off? Come on. Gonna ruin it for sure. Doesn't need to be that tight. Why is it that tight? Maybe I just go back to the Coke can trick, at least for this. The latter MS250s are better than the quality of one just received. Really? Okay. Yeah, the sleeve tools are just tapered, so it guides over the lip here. So either I'm going to use this. It really feels like it just wants to bind. So either I'm going to just use a deep socket for that. Yeah, this definitely won't go over that, so that is going to help. I guess I'll just use a deep socket. Try it that way. Always try to check and make sure that ring is in there. Yeah, that feels right. Now this is anaerobic sealer, so if it gets on the bearings, it's not that big of a deal. course, I'd rather it not, but whatever. Gasoline just washes it right away. Now the thing with the anaerobic sealer is you definitely want to give it time to cure. Admittedly, I don't know how I'm feeling about this now, because that's pretty darn tight. I guess that's okay. Now I just need something to hit it. I'm using this. That will actually work fine. And this one does go in flush. No reason why it can't. You can measure it and see for sure that it does indeed go in flush. But I should be able to pull this cedar off. Yeah, there we go. Now we can go back to this guy. That's it. Done. Ta-da! Okay, let's do the other side. The other side's a little bit different because it's got the bearing holder, or the seal holder rather. Where did I put that? Actually, no. You know what? Instead of going to that, we're over here. So I might as well do the oiler. G3, hey. Yes, I can. I do remember that. Boy, we got quite a night here. The 372 should be all set. I just need to try it outside. And I didn't have any time today. Actually, so what we need to do is get this oiler working. There's a little white thing on the inside of the oiler here. It's a cap, and I like using my easy outs for it. course, it's also one of those dumb things that I end up forgetting later. This is all gummed. Tiny little screw here with a little, looks like a stainless steel spring piece. And that should allow me to unscrew this. So this is now unscrewed. I suppose theoretically this should come flying out at me. At least it's moving. Just want to free up the oiler here and get it kind of degunked. I'm going to push that out, but there we go, got it. Yeah, it could be a leak. Could just not be flowing fuel, you know? There's 2 washers. We have the Kleenexes too. Katrina? Katrina? What's wrong? If you, I'm live, but if you end up going out, we need Kleenexes. Right. In addition to food. Okay. Yeah, it could be a leak, could be not flowing fuel, old carb, yeah. Could be all kinds of different stuff. See, I actually put this pump through the ultrasonic, but still so much gunk. Gotta take it apart, clean it. All those surfaces are patent in there, so that's good. I need these two washers first. Don't know why, but that's the way that it's assembled, and we'll reassemble it like that. Good. Now we can push this down. Yeah, it should be free in there, you know. And then this screw can go back, and that will effectively hold it from flying out at me. Good. Our spring. Keeper, whatever you want to call it. And the tiny little screw, which looks like a speed screw of some kind. Not a machine screw. Ice Road. Hey Matt, last one decompression followed with. Sounds great, but I'm wondering if it caused damage. Yes, because that's a massive air leak. That will indeed cause damage. Don't do that. A plug is fine. Arthur Woolhouse. So I like to make sure these surfaces, the mating surfaces, are well degreased because I goop them up. Keep going for my Kleenexes, but I don't have any. Yeah, get a new, you can get a bolt if you want, a plug, M10 by 1, but having the decomp can be nice, especially if you have a little extra juice on that saw. Okay. Yeah, the plugs should be. I mean, I've got a whole pile of them sitting around, so I can't imagine that your dealer wouldn't have it fairly close to the vest. You know, they better have it pretty close to home. Okay, let's do a little goop. Nope. Try again. Brake cleaner to clean this. 2 holes. I use goop. You don't have to, especially if you have brand new rubber here. Not gravity to act for you. Nope. Put a little bit of goop on the oiler itself. Again, you don't have to, especially if you have new rubber, but makes me feel better. This is a 262. This is a 262 XP. Piece of rubber that goes here. And I probably need some red Loctite. On the oiler bolts. And then I should be able to put this down. There we go. It's a tight fit. There. And we got our bolts. Yep, this is 1184. I think these are the oiler bolts. Pretty sure they are. M3 or 3mm head M4 bolts. There we go. One, two, three. Ta-da! Yeah, I used to, okay, so the goops I use, Loctite 518, which is anaerobic, and then 3-Bonds 1184, which is not anaerobic. So the difference is that the 3-Bond will cure pretty much wherever. The 1184 has got to be between two surfaces to cure. So I don't use the 518 anymore on plastic. It works on rubber. Metal to rubber is amazing, but it doesn't work on plastic, so you cannot use it for a Husky 350 for sealing the base. You have to use the 3-Bond. And yeah, it's really got to cure for 24 hours. Otherwise, it just washes out. What other stuff goes here? I knew I'd forget something. Shucks. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Everybody relax. my good friend, we are going to convert you his. So effectively, this is the conversion kit to convert it to the wheel as opposed to, what is it? This darn brass worm basically drives the pump whether this drum is going or not. So if you use the plastic worm, then whenever this drum is moving, then it drives the oil pump. So if you're using this, then it just drives it all the time. So you may not want to do that. Now I can just put the clutch on effectively, I think. Where's the clutch? This is one of those clutches that comes flying off at you at about 1,000,000 miles an hour. So do be careful about that. Good. Now we can go over the other side. Part number, what saws can you use it on? I have no idea. I'm sorry. Arthur, this saw is actually considered probably the one of the highest power to weight ratio saws ever produced. So the compared to the amount of power, it's pretty light. Can we have the clutch come off at 1,000,000 miles an hour? No. Not one of my finer moments, gentlemen. Why does it feel like it goes like that? Nope, it goes like this. So let's get these two out. Okay. Yeah, so 262XP is a pretty coveted saw, and they're basically factory hot rods. But they're not cheap today. And you can see there's quite a bit, and it goes into actually, you know, getting them back up and running sometimes. So best of luck finding parts, saws, and everything else. It's a little tricky. It can be a really expensive build if you're not careful. Did you ever find... no. Not that I've really looked here. Go. Okay, so here is the seal holder for right here. But it needs a new O-ring and a new seal. So let's figure out how to do that. Gotta get this darn seal pulled. I forget how I did it last time. Did I just give it a hit? Pop. Did that work? I forget. Not that way. Of course, I could always heat it up and see if it just comes right out. That's possible. The bird does sleep. I don't know if she's asleep yet. She usually is not sleeping when you want her to be sleeping. Does that answer that? Forget to tighten the clutch. It'll go across the... No, I don't want it to go across the parking lot. I really need like a tiny screwdriver to get in there and just kick it. I don't think this one's tiny enough. Ooh, maybe. Yep. There it goes. There you have it. Clean that up. It's a lot just to do bearings and seals, isn't it? Yeah, it's getting done. We're definitely getting this done. let's do a little bit more anaerobic. Well, I see. I can't promise that this is the way to do it. This is certainly how I do it, but I cannot possibly promise that this is the way to do it. But certainly you guys can see that this is not something that is not, not that it's not easy. It's just that it is exceptionally time consuming to go through something like this. OEM seals, yep. It's a little crooked, so let me. I was going to put this on the floor, but maybe get a really big socket. See, now what I'm expecting is that one of you ding-dongs is going to tell me it's in backwards. It's not. It's straight. Okay. Actually, it's probably Adirondacks. I was going to say that. We can always do it better. We just don't know how. It's in backwards. See? See? I knew it. So here's the O-ring. I don't know why they did it like this, but it's a brand new OEM O-ring and a brand new OEM seal. The O-ring sits in this flange right here. I'm actually going to use blue Loctite here, not red, because these screws do not have good leverage. I, in fact, don't like these screws, but whatever. All right. I'm going to go put some grease on here. I'm actually going to put some 1184 around the edge. Okay. And for this, actually am going to use my Coke can trick. that's going to be that. Yeah, actually the older ones are the metal ones. The newer ones, the flange here, the holder is plastic. So the older ones indeed are desirable to have these metal ones. You do have, Craig, you're good to go on that 576 rod. Good. Craig, remember that rod is a tad short, so you can grab it. You grab like a thread maybe. If you want, you can shorten your large sleeve. That's another way to get a little bit more thread on there. Next go around, I'll have different ones manufactured, but these ended up being a tad short, and I didn't know it. And it was definitely one of the things that Kelby was supposed to address, but we just never got to it because he ran off. Or, you know, I don't know where he is, actually. Great. Well, that's not coming out anytime soon. Okay. Gojo hand cleaner? Why? Why were you putting it in with an abrasive? That doesn't make much sense. What do you think? You want to put the tank on? Might as well get the tank on tonight and then call it, because I really want the cylinder head first, and then I can do the flywheel and all that other stuff. Here's the tank. Yep, I remember. We definitely needed that fuel line. For a moment. Yucky. See, there's this cut right here. That's not good, right? It's like cream. Wow. I don't know. You guys think it'd be foolish of me to run a deburring tool on here? I don't think it'd be foolish of me at all. way now it would be less likely to do that. Yeah, well, I didn't drill it out enough to make it not seal, so all I was doing was just chamfering the edge just a little bit because it was a little sharp. Okay. Thinking. Always thinking. My desk keeps clogging up. Here, let's start putting some stuff away. Because we don't need certain things like this. Put that up there, put that down there. This down here. That away. Trip goes away. Old seal. Goodbye. Junk, junk, junk. Amazing how fast this cleans up. Okay, don't need this until later. Actually, just should I leave that? I'll leave that in there. Do I need any more goop? Hopefully not. Better. Now what do I need? Because we were missing this AV mount. Nate was going to send me this one accidentally, but it's this one that we're missing because it was busted. Oh, check this out. Happen to have it right here. That's the baby. Need to order more of those. But that fits right in there. And I think it's possible to add that to the crankcase first. I think I can just put that there and then bring the other in. Yeah. Yep. This is a tiny bolt. Not going anywhere. Now we should be able to bring this up and in. This is usually significantly simpler than, like, say, the 372 crankcases, which are sometimes sort of impossible, you know. Oh, I remember. Hang on. there's a notch over here which actually makes no sense at all. They actually want you to bring the whole thing up, but then effectively forward. And then that makes it nearly impossible to put this in with that AV mount already being there. See? Just doesn't want to go. So, pull it out. Stupid. That's right. You have to put the AV mount in the handle first. Push the handle up and in. Fuel line. Okay. We have the AV mount screws over here. I think these are short, but I don't remember. And this screw here, which I have as a combination screw with my 3D printed chain catcher. So this is actually double chain catcher. There we go. Not quite on center. There. Okay. I did forget the white plug for the oil pump. Man, I do that all the time. I get so excited. Too excited. You're right. You're right. Yeah, William, there's quite a bit of flex here. You're right. So you could certainly stuff something in there if you wanted to. You mean I gotta take the oil pump back off? Of course I gotta take the oil pump back off. Don't be silly. Man, I always do that. That's just frustrating. You know, I'll usually get that, like a nice clean installation. It'll be nice and clean. Everything's working good. Then do something dumb like that. Good call, Larry. Well, Larry's usually making pretty good calls, but this was chalk it up to unfortunate. And Matt being a ding-dong. At least somebody was paying attention. It's definitely one of those things that I forget fairly frequently. It's embarrassing as all heck. Go back out, make sure there's a good enough layer here, which it probably is. Get all your Loctites and everything ready to rock here. Well, this happens to me fairly frequently. At least on this. If it only happens to you once in a while, then that's awesome. Good for you. Just great. This happens to me more than usual. Well, I don't know if you would catch it if the saw was, you know, that type of thing. You're probably not going to notice if the saw is up and running. It won't make a hoot of difference until something gets clogged in there, and that would be kind of tough to tell. How many people, Larry, do you know that would be able to diagnose that? Hard. That goes here. That goes there. Well, you definitely wouldn't have known. I mean, if you're missing something like that, you just wouldn't notice until something got clogged in there, that's all. And it might take years. You're going to break in a little bit. Yes, right. You're right. I would probably find, you know, in that particular case, it would take a long time to notice it on the saw, but hopefully you notice something pretty quickly, and you'll be like, oh, there's a circlip, you know, that type of thing. I need a bigger piece of line to stuff in there. I don't know. I won't worry about that for now. probably pretty much it for tonight. Brandon, this was a running. This was actually a sort of built saw. This was something that has been ported and worked over, and was a really good running saw right up until the wrist pin bearing let go. So I'm going to put the cylinder head back on because the cylinder head is still okay. I need a new piston, which I do have. I have a Meteor here somewhere. But other than that, it's a pretty much an OEM build. But the cylinder head for this has been significantly worked over. So Apple Crisp. Go to it, Larry. Thanks for the tip. And William, a lot of people don't take apart these oilers. I take apart the oiler, clean it, make sure everything's exactly as it should be. I like banana cream. That's my favorite. Okay, so hopefully next step for this is get a wrist pin bearing, piston, head, build the rest of it, off and running. That's kind of what we're hoping for, right? And on that note, it is time for me to hit the hay. So I will say thank you to you gentlemen for hanging out. And I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow I have my 20th high school reunion, so I don't think I'm going to be on. But probably be back Sunday, especially have something interesting by Sunday. Yeah. So everybody, thanks so much. And Larry, special thank you to you for catching that. I'm a ding dong, per usual. And you guys have a great night. We'll catch you soon, okay? Be safe. Email me if you need anything. Bye.